Well, here we are. Diablo 4 is out, and I'm sitting here coming to you guys with a Diablo 3 video. So that's kind of funny. Um, so in this video, I'm going to talk about Diablo 3 seasons and Diablo 4 seasons, the controversy of people not wanting to do Diablo 4 seasons. And then after that, I'm going to kind of veer off into some babble about Diablo 4 and Diablo 3. Hopefully people will listen. Hopefully you will enjoy what I'm going to talk about if you're a Diablo 3, Diablo 4 fan, or etc. I don't know. I wish also that, a lot of people, I'm hoping that the devs are really listening. It seems like a lot for the most part with a lot of things. And, I think that they've done, the Diablo 4 release has been pretty good. There are some quality of life things that leave you scratching your head. Especially when we saw them work out so well in Diablo 3. And when over 12 years of Diablo 3, we've seen Diablo 3 add these great quality of life changes that ended up helping us big time. But now that Diablo 4 is out, there's a lot of quality of life stuff that happened in D3 that now Diablo 4 doesn't have. And that leaves you kind of going like, oh my God, not again. Do we have to wait 3 and 6 and 7 years for these to, for the quality of life here to get better as well? Are we back to this point where, here we go again? So, but why do seasons? Why do you want to do seasons? And for the casual, I think this question is coming from casual players because I was like you once too. When Diablo 3 first launched, I was in from the beginning. A lot of people, didn't end up sticking around for Diablo 3. It had a record-breaking launch. It was unbelievable. Everybody couldn't wait for Diablo 3 because of the years and years of build-up of Diablo 2. Diablo 2 was fire for like 4 years. Diablo 2 was just a huge mega game. And after that, though, it continued on with many people continued playing it for years and years to come to this day. And so people really wanted to get into Diablo 3. And so I stuck around with Diablo 3 from the beginning until right now. In fact, I just played earlier, and that's some of the footage you're looking at. And so Diablo 3, when Diablo 3 launched Seasons and Season 1 came out, I didn't really get it. I got to be honest. And that's because I didn't really enjoy ladders or seasonal ladder in Diablo 2. I was somebody who was obsessed with Diablo 1 for about 3 to 6 months. I played the heck out of Diablo 1 for 3 to 6 months. It was a blast. And then when Diablo 2 came out, I played Diablo 2 like a lot for about 2 years. But I didn't get that much into the ladder stuff, and I didn't get too intense into Diablo 2. Although I played it a lot, I didn't play it efficiently, I would say. I sort of just went around killing mobs and monsters and people and just hoping that good legendaries and crazy rare items might drop. And there were things that I farmed and events I did, and, there were things in Diablo 2 that I did that many people did. But it was sort of one of those things where, like, I enjoyed them briefly or repetitively, but I didn't get too intense. I was a very, very casual Diablo 1 and Diablo 2 player. I was very, very casual. But when Diablo 3 came out, I was ready to go. But I was still a very casual player of Diablo. But Diablo 3 I've played the most of any ARPG or any almost actually I think any game ever. I played Diablo 3 the most I think of any game ever. Besides maybe Halo 1 and 2, but yeah, I think Diablo 3 is my most played game of maybe all time. I've dedicated unbelievable amounts of hours to it. But yet, even with that being said, I'm still not the most efficient person. You know what I mean? I don't hit power. I don't play in group. I play solo usually. And most of the time that I've played Diablo 3, I have had a regular job There was a 3-4 year period where I was only on YouTube. But Seasons came out in Diablo 3, and I just sort of didn't get it. I said, why would I not just play my main character? Why not just play main? Why would I want to play a seasonal, start all the way over again, and when I could just play my main character if I have time to play? And so for that reason, I played Season 1 a little bit. I played Season 2 and 3 a little bit, and then I sort of didn't play Seasons again until about, I want to say Season 7 or 8. I came back a little bit, but it really wasn't until Season, I want to say 15 or something, or 14, Season 14 maybe, that I came back, and I started finally enjoying Diablo Seasons. I started to get it. And another thing that I started doing around Season 16 or 17, I started watching a lot of streamers play. And I started listening. Well, I was always listening to Diablo podcasts, but I started listening to a lot of them, and I started watching a lot of streamers, and I started really enjoying sort of watching other people do things, watching how other people do things, learning through that, playing the game at the same time. And what ended up happening is what you realize is you really are better than you realize. When you don't know a lot about the game and you don't spend a lot of time playing the game, and you're just trying to have fun and play, and who cares? That's great. And so you don't feel the need for seasons, a lot of those people, because you're so far behind everybody else that you're not necessarily thirsty for this new content to do. But at some point, when you finally catch up to that point and your main character is, tapered off or leveled off or hit a wall, and you start wondering what the whole seasonal thing is about, maybe you start researching it like I did. And I started saying, well, I do want to play seasons now, and I'm having fun. And also the idea of powering up my main character through the seasonal. I didn't quite understand how much the Paragon change would affect that. And I think Paragon being changed around and coming into the game in the seasons, I think that's a big reason why I wanted to play Seasons 2, is because I realized the Paragon would carry over to my main character. And so now I felt like I really was doing something towards my new character while playing these things. And the seasonal themes weren't that great either originally, right? Like the Double Goblins one and things like that. Now, those are themes that I think should be put into the seasons, but they should be like a weekly changing event. So hopefully in Diablo 4, we will get like whatever the seasonal theme is. But then on top of that, hey guys, this week it's Goblin Dominoes or Goblin Spawn or whatever you want to call it. And it'd be great if, and I think I've heard other people suggest this, and this is something I also suggested in Diablo 3 years ago, would be like if you kill a goblin, there's like a 90% chance it spawns a second goblin. And then if you kill the second goblin, there's an 80% chance that it spawns another goblin. And then if you kill that goblin, there's a 70% chance you spawn another goblin. And so it can be this really fun, repetitive thing. And think of how exciting it would be if you keep you kill a goblin and it rolls another one. And even when you get down to the 30% likelihood of one more goblin coming, it comes. You're like, oh my God, I got that 7 in a row. Like, that's crazy odds. That's sort of like a fun game within a game that's going on in the game. So it would be fun if there was a huge seasonal, theme, whatever that is. Right? But on top of that, every week during the season, there would be a rotation of bonuses, right? Like, so 1 week it's conduits spawn a goblin army. Conduits last 2 times longer. Conduits, give you the conduit thing plus 10% damage. Or, chests have, grant something speed, whatever the hell these little bonuses are. And they rotate every week. Hey guys, this week, goblin battle royal goblins, I don't know, whatever. But I really love, I'm somebody who loves the goofy, crazy stuff. I love that. as a fairly casual person, you know what I mean? But I would say I don't know what level casual I am, but I play this game a lot, so I'm not casual, but I am casual, if that makes any sense. I love the gimmicks. I want to see those things added. But so we keep coming back to this question that I've kind of danced around and bumbled around of why would you play seasons? You got to, because at some point you're going to want to play seasons. You know what I mean? So if you're a player out there who's saying, I don't want to play seasons, this is stupid, this isn't what I wanted to do. I think you will want to do it if you start to really like the game and love the game and continue to play the game and it starts to become a game you always want to play. You will eventually fall into seasons, I would believe, right? So you'll eventually get into seasons. I just don't think I think that the very, very casual people and the couch casual people, I don't think they're going to get into seasons until maybe season 3 to 5. Potentially, if they're still with the game. Which is okay, but I think they're going to be upset right now because the game isn't really catering to that. They're not catering to people who it's going to take them a year or so to realize they want to do seasons. They're sort of like, no, of course you want to do seasons. What are you talking about? And those people are like, well, I don't get it. But I'm telling you, I was like you once. And eventually I realized the fun of every season. When a season starts, it's exhilarating to start from zero and to start going through all the fun things of the way, to try to level up. At least it works well to me in Diablo 3. I love it. It's become familiar to me. I enjoy putting on a few different streamers I like here or there, or I enjoy jumping on Discord with my wife when my wife plays with me, and I just have so much fun at the beginning of a Diablo 3 season. And so much fun that I'm oh my God, I hope that Diablo 3 seasons continue because I'm still playing Diablo 3. I don't care. Diablo 4 is out and I'm playing the hell out of Diablo 4. I'm a level 60 rogue. By the way, I've hit a wall. It's June 23rd, 2023, and I've hit a wall on my rogue, which I've been told does happen at this point, but I feel underpowered. I feel like I've hit a wall and I needed a break, and so I came over to Diablo 3. And I'm hoping in Diablo 4 that we get some more of this random craziness. I really like the idea of killing a goblin and it spawning another one, and killing it and it has a chance to spawn another one. All the way down to maybe like 30% chance. Because then you could literally kill it and it could spawn another and spawn another. And I just think that would be really fun. It's so goofy, but it's something I like. I like big goblin rooms. We all like the cow level stuff. There's these little fun things about, Diablo that I enjoy. I think there's a lot of issues. There's some issues with Diablo 4. I think we need more items. I think we need a few more rare items. I love the fact that some of the items are like impossible to find. Like I think there's like one person who's found the Harlequin thing. There's only been a few people that found the grandfather. I love the fact that there's super hard to find rare items out there. I want more of that. I want more of those. You know what I mean? Like I would love it if they added more rare items. It would also be great. It seems like it would be really good too if they added more rare ones that aren't so rare, but they are still fairly rare. Only 300 to 1,000 players have found them so far. Only 50 to 100 players have found them so far. Right now we're looking at some of these items that only 5 people have found them, or 1 person has found it, and that's wild. I mean, we're talking about millions of hours already from everybody, and this is the number. So, but that makes it great. So I just hope there's a couple more tier. I just hope there's a few more items at these different, rarity tier levels that they can add to the game, because the more they add and the more they do, the more I get excited about the game, about playing, and the possibility of something dropping. Because even if something that dropped that was sort of like medium rare, do you know what I mean? say 30,000 to 10,000 people, 10,000 to 30,000 people have found this item. You know what I mean? That's still pretty rare, and getting that would be exciting. So the idea of these random things falling, the idea maybe of certain bosses dropping things and having to do those, some of that being added to the game is going to really help, I think, in my opinion, for me, and I think for many of the other casuals who are going to hit a wall at some point. You know what I mean? It's like the people that are powering through the wall, that have time and that are getting to level 80, 90, and 100 right now. Those people will have something to do as well, because they can, come back to try to farm those very rare items, and that's what they're going to be looking for. But a lot of those people need a reason to do it, so that's the other thing, is I still think that there should be a battle royal type of mode in the game, like Battle Arena in Diablo 4, that takes from the whole battle royal game style that's been out. And I think that basically what you would do is you would get 10 to 20 players. You put them in a battle arena with hordes of monsters, and when you make the kill on a monster, you get more credit. But when you die, you are out, essentially. And the longer you stay in this wave, the more the reward is. And until the last person is left. And the last person that's left standing in this sort of arena gets a treasure chest that is like super rare. That way it's like you're competing with other players, but not directly, right? It's like all the players around you, you're not fighting them. They don't get hurt by you, and you don't get hurt by them. But you're testing your ability to survive against these packs of monsters that are just coming in waves. And, maybe that's done by class. Maybe only rogues can be in there, and only sorcerers. So it's sort of like it's a little more even that way. But I think something like that would be really fun. And then it'd be accomplishing. If you're in there with 10 or 20 other people, and the reward obviously has to be pretty good. And maybe these are sort of things that I would like to see. I don't know, man. These are things I'd like to see added to Diablo 4 to make it a little more fun, and also make it a little stick out a little bit more. I think some of the stuff that they've tried to stay away from in Diablo 3 is a little bit hurtful in a way, because there's such a stigma with Diablo 3. But I think what people don't realize is there's so many people that seemingly don't know Diablo 3 and don't know of it, or don't know what it's become, or I don't know what it is. But Diablo 3 has become an amazing game. And the problem with Diablo 3 is that there's not a ton to do, but yet for me, there is still a good amount of things to do. When the season starts in Diablo 3, it is a really fun grind for me for about 2 weeks. It used to be about 4 to 6 weeks. Now it's about 2 weeks. I have a blast for about 2 weeks in Diablo 3. And then what I start doing is I start doing goblin runs, because I don't have my cosmic wings yet. And if you don't know what cosmic wings are, they're rare wings that drop when you find a rainbow goblin, and he spawns a portal, and the wings could drop in the rainbow world, but there's it's like a very, very rare chance of that happening. So I've been playing the game since it started, and I've done probably 600 runs and maybe 800, something like that. And I've never found the cosmic wings. And so I do cosmic wings runs, then I go back to season. I take breaks, I do that, I go back to season. And then what happens is eventually when I get kind of bored, and I'm like, all right, I'm not going to go any further, because I'm not good enough and crazy enough, that I'm going to try to push the top of the leaderboards. You know what I mean? I'm going to make it somewhere in the middle somewhere and whatever, and I'm not really going to go much higher, and it would require my life to be over for me to do it, so I'm not going to do it. So I sort of just make it into the spot I want to be in, like, okay, I've done, what I can do, and then I, at some point, probably a month or 2 months later, I roll a hardcore character and I play hardcore, and I have fun playing Diablo 3 hardcore, which is also something I thought I would never do. So just like I said, why would anyone play Season? I would also say, why would anyone play hardcore? That is so stupid. Well, now I love playing hardcore. And I level a hardcore character to about 1,000 Paragon, or maybe like 600 to 1,000 Paragon. It's not that much, you know what I mean? But for me, it's pretty good. And I just try to beat that level every time I roll a hardcore. So if I rolled a hardcore and I got to Paragon 800, the next season, I try to beat it. Try to do 805, try to do 802, try to do 850, whatever. And I push it and I see how far we can take it. But I don't do what, hardcore players really do, which, they get to Paragon 3000 and things like that. I don't really get involved in the meta that much. Yeah. And I think I'm driven a lot by the exhilaration of upgrading items and the possibility of finding primal items. And I also integrate working to level up gems and things like that. But when you're mixing it all up, it's fun. But when it's only like bounties or in Diablo 4, the Tree of Whispers, like that stuff is awful to me. I can't stand it. I don't like it. I just want to blast. I just want to blast stuff and look for loot. That's what I want to do. I don't want to think too much about having to do this 7 bounties, accomplishments, bring this scroll to this guy to do that. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it. I want to have fun. That's why everything I'm talking about is blasting and blowing up and finding the rare items and goblins. And, I have fun. I like double goblins. People always make fun of that. Like, oh, double goblins. That's so dumb. Yeah, it's dumb. I agree. It's dumb as a seasonal theme. It's not. Like, that's not great. But I do like it when they add it as a bonus to the season. Okay, we're adding double goblins on top of the season. Cool. Oh, we're adding double bounties to the season. Cool. Like, yes, every week I would say add something else. That's fun. Make it crazy. And, dude, that I think would go a long way for a lot of the casuals, because a lot of the casuals have never experienced that. And that's why I hope they start doing this quickly in Diablo 4. Like, as soon as possible, they start integrating, like, Super Goblin Day, or, it's Goblin Sunday night, or whatever. Just these goofy things, because I think the casual players who are playing Diablo 4 would be like, whoa, that's kind of funny, like, or that's cool. I don't think a lot of people were playing Diablo 3 when they were launching a lot of these things. Reaper of Souls, obviously, but... I think you've got a lot of people playing Diablo 4 still right now that don't know about anything that happened in Diablo 3 really beyond the first year. I'm going to be doing more videos and reacting more about Diablo 4 and 3 coming up. And I'll try to make a video on my Rogue, because, like I said, I've hit a wall with my Twisted Blades Rogue at this point, and that's why I took a break to play a little Diablo 3. But these are just my perspectives coming from somebody who's, I work 20 hours on YouTube a week, not gaming related, on my regular YouTube channel, on my bigger channel. And I work 40 hours a week at a regular job now. So that's 60 hours a week of work. I've got 3 kids. And so I think that my interest, I will do anything I can with spare time to try to play Diablo, because I love it so much. Whether that's 30 minutes, an hour, 4 hours, whatever it is. A lot of times I do get to play, I would say, I don't know. I probably get to play somewhere between 8 and 15 hours a week. I figure out a way to play that much. And that's considered, I think casual, right? So, fairly casual. I just, from my perspective, these are the things I love. As someone who's like, I'm very casual, but I'm also very obsessed with Diablo. It's probably my favorite game of all time, with, a couple others. But, I don't know. I'm babbling on. I'm And I'm not editing this video. I have no time, as you can tell, to edit this video. So I'm just going to babble on and hope you guys leave comments down below, or hope this video even gets seen by anybody. But to kind of bring it home, I guess, about seasons is, if you're somebody who doesn't like seasons or doesn't get seasons or doesn't understand what's going on, I am telling you to give it a chance. Just try it. Try to do it and enjoy it. And while you're doing it, watch a streamer, watch videos on the new season, and play it. And then start to learn how efficient you can be. Because in Diablo 3, every season begins, you do the same thing every season to start. There are little things you can do to boost your season right off the bat. And I enjoy doing them. I actually enjoy every season. Oh yes, I'm going to do this with the bounties and the cash. I'm going to do the challenge rift. I'm a demon hunter, so I'm going to try to roll a dagger because there's only 2, and I'm going to roll. It's either going to be this one or that one. It's going to be, Carly's Point, or it's going to be whatever the other one is. See, I don't even remember the name. But it's like, I enjoy all the steps that you have to go through for the season to begin. And then I have fun with the leveling process. It's just fun. I have fun playing the seasons. People have fun. That's why they do it. If it wasn't fun, you wouldn't do it. But if you don't understand it at all, I can see how you would think it's overwhelming and stupid, and I'm not doing that. I totally get that, because I thought the same thing too. Because what happens is, it takes a casual gamer a longer time to progress to where they finally hit the point where they're like, oh, I do want to try that now, because I've done so much in my main character that now I want to do the seasons. But that's because they're so behind. But when you're not a casual player and you're more advanced, or when you're a hardcore, or when you're just like somebody who's crushing it, you're level 100 after a week, somebody like that, you're looking for seasons now. You're like, okay, I can still max out my character. I'm still looking for rare items. There's still some things, I can farm all day to try to find these items. But for the most part, I've played 98% of the game, and other than trying to maximize a couple of items that may take forever to drop, or I may never find, I'm ready to do something else. I don't know what to do. So they are looking for seasons. That person is looking for a season. But somebody who is level 30 and still hasn't even completed the campaign, and now a season is coming out, they're like, well, what the hell? I've got so much to do here. Why would I start a new character? You know what I mean? That's where the disconnect is coming with the player base and with people and with what they think about seasons. So until you get to level 60 or up, and until you hit a insurmountable wall that you're just not ready to you don't ever want to go past that wall, or you just your build is busted and you don't want to, you'll just hit a wall and you'll never get past it. You know what I mean? At that point, you're going to want seasons, or you're going to want to never play the game again. It's one of the two. It's either you hit a wall and you get discouraged and you go, you know what? I never want to play this again. I don't get it. Or you're going to be like, you know what? I've done all I think I can or I want to do for now. It'll be fun to start at 0 because everybody else is starting at 0, and there'll be all these new things in the season that are different, and it'll be fun. And, I'll level to 60 again, in my season. And then what's going to happen is you're going to start to learn the game a little bit better. There's going to be changes to the game. You're going to learn the game. And then when the season ends, many of the things your seasonal character did is going to carry over to your main character and give your main character a little bit of a boost. And then you're going to play your main character while you're waiting for the next season to start. And you're going to maybe level that character up a little bit. And then that progression is going to become fun and intriguing, and you're going to learn more. And like I said, you will maybe at that point, or at some point between seasons 1 and 5, start to realize that you like the seasons and that you really look forward to them. And I mean, I myself find every new season of Diablo 3 exhilarating. And the crazy thing about Diablo 3 is they keep making new content. I mean, it's over now, right? Diablo 3 is pretty much over. I don't think they're going to do a new season in 29. I mean, I know that seasons are going to, I believe they're going to rotate on an automatic rotation every, 4 months for the rest of the forever. I don't know, until they shut down servers someday. Hopefully that never happens. But yeah, so I mean, either this season was the last one, which I thought it was, but now I'm hearing that they might be one more new season for Diablo 3. There it is so fun still. And Diablo 3, dude, in the year 2020 or whatever, we got new sets. Like, it was so crazy. We got new set items for our characters. Was it 2019 now? I can't even remember now. And all the new stuff, dude, they've added so many new things to the game. If you didn't know this, Diablo 3 has added new stuff to the game. We thought Diablo 3 was going into maintenance mode 5 years ago. 5 or 6 years ago. We were like, okay, Diablo 3 is going into maintenance mode. It's going to be put aside, and, well, that's it. You know, it never really worked out, but it got better. But, you know, it's going into maintenance mode now, and I'm still going to play it. But that's sad, you know? And the next thing you know, they're announcing this, they're announcing that, and you're like, what? More, like, balances, new items, new activities, crazy stuff in the seasons. Like, I mean, the quality of life adjustments that they made to this game, the people that worked on Diablo 3 and all the people that worked on Diablo 3 over the last 6 years or more that have been developing it to make it better and better and better every single year and season, I mean, man, they should be commended like you would. I want to give them all a hug, like a huge hug, because they've kept this game alive for me, and they've made the game a million times better than it ever was. It's amazing how Diablo 3, you know, broke records on its release, but then after a year was like looked at as kind of like a dud, like, yikes, this wasn't what we thought. But then when Reaper of Souls came out, it got a little bit better. And then it got a little bit better, and then it got really better, and then it got better and better and better. And it just keeps getting better to the point of it's at this point now where it's a beautiful game that maybe you'd only play it for 2 weeks every season, you know, but at least 3 or 4 times a year, you're going to hop on a Diablo 3 during the beginning of a season and have 2 to 4 weeks of a lot of fun. And I do. And longer than that, really. And then I also hop on a hardcore character at this point. So, I think people will enjoy seasons, and I think the people that don't understand it, I do understand how they don't understand, because I didn't at one point either. And you know what? Most people, like people that were smart and people that played a lot of Diablo 3 or you know, games like this, you know, they thought I was crazy when I said, oh, I'm not playing the seasons really. I don't get it. I just want to work on my main character. They were like, what? What are you doing? So I get it. It's funny because it seems like both parties kind of look at each other like, what are you doing? What? You know, neither side gets each other. And I'm a good example of somebody who didn't get the seasons, but then I became a massive fan of the seasons, especially by season 13 or 14. I forget which one it was. I'd played almost all the seasons, but I'd given up quickly, like, or whatever. You know, I bailed fairly fast. But by season 14 or 15, I was having a great time. And if you don't know about the Diablo 3 seasons, I would encourage you to maybe go look up random seasons. Go look them up. Go look up season 23 of Diablo 3 and watch a video that someone's releasing on, like, hey, you see what they're doing this season? And then think about it and how the mechanics work. And think about that happening in Diablo 4. And think about what you think about that. And then leave me a comment down below if you've watched if you've actually watched the entire 33 minutes so far of this video. I don't know, write Diablo 69 in the chat down below. Okay, Diablo 69 in the chat down below. I bet nobody does that. I'll tell you what, man, if I see someone writing Diablo 69 down below, I will lose my mind, because I can't believe a soul sat through this 33, 34, 35 minutes of babble that I just put out. But either way, Diablo 4 overall has been a lot of fun, but I've hit a wall. Again, which I've said in multiple videos, you have fun for a little bit, then you hit a wall. You have fun for a little bit, you hit a wall. But I'm having a good time overall. I just think there's quite a few little things that they could really do to fix and enhance the game and add flair to the game that I would enjoy. And a lot of stuff is coming. There's huge patches coming. There's just a bunch of stuff coming in the next couple of weeks, and then before season 1. So those are my thoughts on the situation with people not understanding seasons and some of my ideas for what I'd like to see in Diablo 4, and some of my background with Diablo 3, and the fact that I'm still playing Diablo 3. I love Diablo 3, and I'm enjoying Diablo 4. And leave that comment down below, guys. I'll see you in the next video, Evil Spectrum 3. Watch more of my videos popping up maybe now for you. If not, I don't know. But follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/evilspectrum3. Give me a follow on there if you can. And I'll see you soon.